Hello, we are glad you could join us on Shepherd Speak. I am your host from the Philippines, Father Lorenzo Ruggiero, and I am very glad we have with us today Bishop Bp Varquez from the Diocese of Borongan. Bishop Varquez, welcome to Shepherd Speak.
Thank you, Father, for inviting me here.
So, we would like to know something about you. Where were you born? What is that brought you to the seminary and to become a priest?
So I was born in the little town of Sibilia in Bohol. That is part of the central part of the Visayas. I was born December 5, 1960.
You're still very young.
I'm quite old already, Father. So I entered the seminary at the age of 19. So after my elementary years, I enrolled at the public high school. Then after high school, I enrolled at the private university. And after a year, I transferred to the seminary. That was year 1981. 81. Then after my college years in the seminary in Tagbilaran, I enrolled at St. Augustine Major Seminary in Tagaytay, and I was ordained deacon in year 1998, June 29. Then I was ordained priest April 14, 1989.
You served in different parishes and also as a formator, if I may.
After my ordination as priest?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, my first assignment as a new priest was in Sablayan, Occidental, Mindoro. I was borrowed by the bishop there after my ordination because I belong to the Diocese of Tagbilaran.
So it's a different diocese, but a bishop from Mindoro, another island, asked you to help them out.
He asked my bishop that I can lend my services there in his diocese. That was 1989 to 1981. 1989 to 1991.
Anyway, when you were also formator in the seminary for a time.
Yes, after my 3 years as priest in the parish, then I was moved by my bishop to the seminary. That was 1992. Then 1995, I was transferred to the parish. Then 1996, I was transferred to the seminary in Tagaytay as formators for 4 years.
Bishop, when was it that Benedict XVI made you a bishop?
Yeah, that was August 4, 2007.
2007.
Yes.
May I ask you something? You said that you entered the seminary when you were 19 years old.
Yes.
Quite late for the standards in the Philippines.
Yes,
we still have here minor seminaries, so those who feel the vocation to priesthood enter very young in the seminary. Why at 19, if I may ask, what was it that brought you to the seminary? Why did you decide to become a priest?
Actually, Father, I had no plan to become a priest.
You had no plan to become a priest?
When I enrolled in college, I took up Bachelor of Science in Commerce. But when I stayed in a convent, I was inspired by the life of the priest. He was so dedicated in his life as priest, and he celebrated Mass every day. He prayed the Rosary every evening. So as I look at him, I was inspired that it's good to become a priest if that is the life of priest that I'm going to live.
So you were studying at a college, but you were boarding in a place where there were priests, in a sort of convent.
Yes.
You were staying with them, helping out in the chores.
So actually that priest was, he's still alive now, but he's retired. He is a relative of my father.
A relative of your father.
So as I observed him living his life as priest, I was inspired by the way of life he lived. And that made me decide to become a priest.
Was there a particular moment in which you felt really, by observing this man, I want to be a priest? Or God is calling me to be a priest, He's sending me this person as an example or as His voice to telling me, this is your calling?
Actually, just a kind of inspiration. Every day I attended this mass every day. Then just a kind of inspiration that
Every day it was
how
getting stronger and
it's
stronger.
good to become priest.
Wonderful.
But I cannot claim that God said to me that, oh, I want you to become priest. But
It
nothing
was-
like that.
It grew
But
into
just from
you.
within,
Very
I
well.
was just inspired.
As a priest, as a young priest, when you began your ministry and also throughout the years, you have much experience. Which has been the source of your joy? What gave you or gives you joy the most as a priest and now as a bishop?
Actually, there was a time that the decision came from within that I have to just be myself, then do my work as a priest without thinking of other priests who are not doing well.
The temptation is that of looking
Yes.
around and saying, why
Oh.
am I working so much? And
Yeah.
the other priest maybe is doing something else.
Yes, because I was happy with what I was doing. At the same time, I decided to become priest for the church and for God, and not to any other, not for other priests or even the bishop. I decided to live this kind of life, so I have to do my work as a priest without thinking that oh, other priests are not doing well or.
So what is it that makes you happy? Say, if I asked a mother, what is it that makes you happy? Probably she would say, well, when I see my children, I am happy. Though I am tired looking after them, I have to cook for them, the chores in the house and many responsibilities. Sometimes they disobey me, but in the end, when I look at them, when they go to sleep, I am happy I have them. They are the source of my joy. What is it that makes you happy as a priest and as a bishop?
Yeah, actually, the inspiration that gives me strength in my life as priest and as a bishop is being with people, And as I live with life with the people, I do not choose what kind of people he is or she is. He might be rich, he might be poor, he might be not so good. So I feel that I can associate with any kind of people in the parish, in the diocese, that makes me happy being with them.
So you say you are the bishop of everyone. You don't make this
I can
distinction
say
of
something
poor
like
and
that.
rich.
Something like that.
And to be with people makes you happy. To
Yes,
bring
Father.
Jesus to people.
Yes. So that sustains me in my life as priest. At the same time, I also believe that because I did not expect that I would become a bishop.
You did not expect
Yes, yeah, because I was
that. You did not apply for a position to become
not
a
even
bishop.
because I did not excel in my seminary for my son, even having the award in the seminary. No, I did not have. I was just an ordinary seminarian. That is why my classmate cannot believe that. Oh, boy, you are now a bishop. I cannot believe. And I told them, if you cannot believe that I become a bishop, much more me. No? I cannot believe that
cannot
why
believe
God has
yourself.
chosen me to become a bishop. So as a form of gratitude for this kind of opportunity that God sometime has chosen me to become one of those. So I have to give my whole self.
Now, you are a bishop in Borongan, Eastern Samar. For those who do not know the Philippines, this is one of the poorest areas in the country. It's an area also that is been afflicted ever since with natural calamities.
Yes.
One question, how do you face the poverty of people? Because there are some today in the church, they say, yes, the word of God, but first we have to feed people, to take care of their needs. And if there is time, then we will also give them some catechism. how can you address poverty by bringing Christ to them, bringing true life to them?
The first is I have to live with the kind of life that they live. Meaning to say that I have to simplify my lifestyle. Second is
You simplify your lifestyle, meaning a bishop is not different from others. People would see in you that you share the same sort of life they have, a simple life. That's your first way of catechizing them.
yes, because I usually tell them if I go to their houses and villages, I tell them that do not prepare anything special. If this is the kind of food that you eat there, we eat that kind of food.
Because when the bishop comes, they prepare, of course, a special meal.
Yes, yes. So I don't want them to be pressured with my presence.
So whatever you have on the
So I
table,
tell
that's
them,
what I will share with you.
Because people usually ask me, Bishop, what kind of food you want to eat?
Yes.
So if I mention one kind of food, the food that is available in their place, and the simplest food that I ask.
What is the livelihood in your diocese? How people live?
Majority of our people are fishermen,
Fishermen,
farmers,
farmers. So simple people.
simple people. Father.
Now you said the first way of bringing Christ to them, also in their situation of poverty, is that of sharing their life, sharing meals with them, sharing the simplicity of their existence. How do you catechize simple people? Because we see Jesus in the gospel, he was able to talk to the crowds. Everyone would understand and be attracted to Jesus. But sometimes people have high language that those who did not study theology cannot understand. So I ask you, how are you able to connect to them, to speak to them of Jesus so that they understand?
Yeah. First, Father, is I have to reach out to them, and I have to not even verbally. I have to assure them that I can be with them, and know my people, and they know me. Then, if they have that kind of relationship, it is now easy to catechize them, to teach them about our faith. Because my simple principle is, if you have good relation, you can easily function. If you have good relation with people, you can easily transmit to them the message that you want to bring to people, especially the teaching of Christ.
So is Bishop Varquez friends with everyone in Borongan?
I presume. Because
We should ask around.
one time I had my exercise, I walked around the area, and one guy asked me, Bishop, I see that you are alone. You must have a bodyguard. I told him, I don't need a bodyguard. I have no enemy.
You don't need to have bodyguards.
Yes.
Your diocese has been also struck strongly, heavily by the typhoon Yolanda.
Yes.
It was one of the areas in which Yolanda struck the most, and it's been a devastation. How did you live that situation?
Yeah, it was really difficult, Father. That was November 8, 2013, 2 years ago.
You still remember that story very well.
Yes, yes.
Look,
I was there.
We want to listen to the story of the devastation of Yolanda and how affected the life of many people in the diocese of Borongan, in Samar region, in later in the Philippines. We will hear more of that story as we get back in a moment. Stay with us.
Mabuhay! Welcome to the island of Cebu, to the 51st International Eucharistic Congress, here in the 7,107 Islands of Faith.
that I've been a part of such a wider faith community, a world faith community.
I hope that after this IEC, we get that unified humanity that we always hope for.
I am from the Czech Republic and my name is Hanna Frančáková. You know, I come from the country which was 40 years under the communism pressure. Many people suffered in prison because of their faith. Now today, many people lose their faith.
Coming from a Western culture like Australia, where the practice of the faith and expression of the faith is much more reserved and internalised, it's wonderful to be in the Philippines and see such a vibrant external expression of faith.
The Eucharist is not just a ceremony, but for me, it is a chance for us to have a conversation with Christ.
It's been an absolute delight to be a part of this process in the Philippines, because coming here, I have seen literally thousands of people who still think Jesus Christ matters.
Hope lives.
Hope lives.
Hope lives.
Hope lives.
Hope lives!
Hope lives!
Hope lives! Hope lives! Hope lives!
Hope lives.
Hope lives!
Welcome back. We are at Shepherd Speak, and we are in the company of Bishop Bp Varquez from the Diocese of Borongan in the Philippines. We continue with our bishop. We were talking about the Typhoon Yolanda that took place 2 years ago in the Philippines. The whole world watched on TV the terrible moments and the devastation that happened in that part of the country. You were with your people when Typhoon Yolanda struck. We remember, of course, the Holy Father, Pope Francis, after 1 year, was able to come to the Philippines to bring his support, his love, and his closeness to the people in the Philippines. We remember of the Mass that took place in later, but many people, many lives, many stories were untold. You were with your people during those days. Could you share with us your thoughts, your memories?
So actually, we were not really prepared for that strong typhoon that struck in our place, because we used to have many typhoons in the past years, but we are able to manage ourselves.
You have typhoons often.
Yes, actually, Father, 15 to 20 typhoons.
15 to 20
yes,
typhoons
every year.
Every year.
But not all strong typhoons. But some are. There are floodings, but not really that strong as Yolanda. So the days before the typhoon, so there was a news that a strong typhoon named Yolanda would hit our place. So the sun was, the weather was so good, and even the sun was shining the day before the typhoon Yolanda. So we just took it as if ordinary typhoon is coming. So we did our routine. Then we had our welcome with the Blessed Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Fatima at the time, the day before Yolanda, and the sun was shining. So we took our dinner November 7 in the evening. So just ordinary. We did not really prepare, even relief goods we did not prepare, because we presumed that we can manage the typhoon.
It would be just rain or strong wind, no more than that. That's
Yes,
what you thought.
But a late evening, so we heard the news that the storm surge would be possible, 7 feet high, 7 meters high. So we informed our priest to prepare. We texted, we relayed to them the information that we received from the news. So in 11 o'clock in the evening, the wind started to become stronger and stronger until 4 o'clock in the morning. And the communication
Or disrupted.
no more communication, and that was the strongest part of the typhoon. 4 o'clock in the morning of November 8, 2013. So if it was the wind was so strong that it was very painful to the ear if you listen to the typhoon, because the wind was like crying, wailing wind, as Prophet Isaiah would describe it, a wailing wind. So.
And in those days, people, because not everyone has a concrete home, not everyone has proper shelters in your area. You were saying some of your parishioners are just farmers or fishermen, and they have what you call in the Philippines nipa huts, so are makeshift places where they live.
Actually, in the southern part of the Diocese of Barungan, so all were destroyed. Even the concrete houses were destroyed.
Even concrete homes.
Yes, Father. The people were just hiding in any place that they can hide themselves. Most of them were hiding in the comfort rooms, because some people can afford to create a concrete comfort rooms. So they hide there. So if the comfort room is quite small, so the members of the family can contain to that small area, just to hide themselves as a form of protection from any object that were flying. Because people described the typhoon as they felt that they were inside the washing machine.
Inside a washing machine, so strong it was. Yes. That was the sensation.
That was the experience of the people. Because my residence is quite strong, so they can hide in a bigger place now. But those people who are living in houses with light materials, it was totally destroyed, and many of them were washed away by the storm surge.
Were there casualties?
In my diocese, we have 249.
249
casualties
people died.
In my diocese. But in Tacloban area, there were more than 10,000, I believe.
And how did you feel in those days when you had to go and visit the sites and the destruction and, of course, the sorrow of the people, the families who have lost their dear ones?
So after the typhoon, I went down from my residence and I went to the parishes, which were reachable at that time. So people were so depressed, and they cannot even speak. So they were in kind of state of depression and hopelessness, and even myself.
How did you feel? Yeah. How did you feel in front of all this?
The feeling that what will I do? And everything were destroyed. Practically, I did not know what to do at that time.
You felt helpless yourself.
Yes. So I just went to the areas and be seen by people without talking, and just be just one with them. Then they do not even want to talk. I asked them how many are casualties here. Bishop, only a few. Then they want to talk anymore.
They don't have strength even to talk about it.
So even myself. So the whole day, I visited all the parishes, which were reachable by the car, because there was an order of the governor and the military cleaning the streets and the highways. So all were in the state of helplessness. All were in the state of, I believe,
even hopelessness.
Yes.
Can I ask you something, Bishop? In front of this situation, you felt helpless, and of course, these people who had lost in a moment everything, homes, fields, fishing boats, and of course even children. They find themselves in front of all this, and the question arises in the heart of man: where is God? We know people are very religious in the Philippines, but in front of such a catastrophe, there is a question arising in some, at least: where is God? I am sure people thought that in your area. Perhaps you felt in a moment of despair also this question: where are you, Lord? What is the answer? Where is God in all this situation, this destruction?
Actually, Father, I did not hear any words from the people asking, where is God?
No one
They
complained.
did not ask that question, Father. What they were saying is that Bishop, God will not abandon us. We still believe in Him, that He allows this thing to happen because He has something to say. And some children would say, maybe God allows this to happen because we do not give time anymore in prayer. That's simple how the children.
How the children understood what.
On my part, so when I went home to my residence, especially in the evening, so I have to appear strong to the people as a leader. I have to appear strong. But in the evening when I went home to my residence, so I spent time in the chapel facing the Blessed Sacrament. I just cried.
That was the moment when you could release all the pain. Bishop, we know that faith for us Christians is what keeps us going and what gives us hope. And of course, in these moments we really see that faith makes a difference, and I am convinced that you have seen this in your people. You said about the wonderful answers of faith. They gave you testimonies of faith. Bishop, we know that this happened because God allowed it for some reason. We will understand. So they answered with deep faith, simple faith. Do you remember of particular people who gave witness of this faith, of this strong, radicated faith in Jesus Christ? Some heroes of the moment, people who forgot about themselves in order to help others, to bring comfort to others.
Actually, Father, as I talk to people and be with them at the time, so the more they were in pain, the more they experienced that helplessness, the more they hold on to God. That's the beauty of the faith of the people, even myself. Maybe without faith at the time, I would become insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the state is that I did not know what to do. If I think of something that I have to do something, I did not know where to start, how to do it. So that is why I just tell God, Lord, you know everything and you know what to do. It is the best for us. Please strengthen me as the leader. Strengthen the people. Because you know you will not abandon us. You are one with our suffering. We are one with our pain. The more I hold on to Him, the more I experience the presence of God, a God who is willing to be one with us, a God who is willing to suffer with us at the time. And that's the beauty of having faith. I told the people that Super Typhoon Yolanda can take away everything from us, But Super Typhoon Yolanda cannot take away the faith in God, or faith in God.
Beautiful, Bishop. Typhoon Yolanda can take away everything from people, homes, fields, even relatives and friends, but he cannot take away faith. Faith is stronger than any calamities. Thank you, Bishop, for this wonderful testimony.
Some people would ask me that what can I say about the Holy Eucharist? And I tell people that Eucharist is the summary of God's love to all of us. Because when we started our intervention to the people, relief operation, medical group were prepared. We always celebrate Mass in the morning with all those helping us in the intervention. Then we meet and we talk and we make some assignments.
Bishop, you experienced what we could call a death, a moment of death, even physical death in those days, and faith kept you strong. You said faith kept people in their sanity. To conclude, after 2 years, have you experienced the resurrection? In a word, can you see that Jesus has been with you all the time, giving you hope?
That was our concrete experience that God was really guiding us, because many INGOs, many foundations, NGOs, and other groups were really sending their help, especially the first part were the relief operation, and relief were abundant.
And how is the diocese today?
The body was hungry. So the diocese now is though not yet fully recovered, but at least you can see people now are rising from the destruction done by Yolanda.
Rising in the resurrection.
So that is the experience of the resurrection.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a real honor and pleasure talking to you, Bishop Varquez, and it's been a pleasure for us to be with you. We greet you, and we wish all of you to experience the same resurrection that Bishop Varquez and his people experienced in the midst of suffering and death. Jesus is always with us, and as our good bishop said, calamities can take away everything from us, but never the love of God. God bless you all.
Lord, you laid down your life as bread and wine we see, gave strength to our hearts.